Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Addie and today we are back with another speed build. Today we are building a really massive house for a really massive family. The concept is that like the main, like the grandpa lives in the big room over on the side, on the right side. And then he has three kids. Um, he could be married. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But he's got three kids, and one of them lives in the other room across the hall by the entryway, which is hard to tell because there's nothing going on right now. And then the other two, one lives upstairs and one lives downstairs in the basement. The other two are married, and I did imagine that they had kids. Um, so we have a lot of space for a lot of Sims in this house. I believe in total there is enough room for, there's also a guest room, so I'm not including that in my count. There's enough room for, let's see, 18 Sims in this house. Um, that's if everybody was married. I do not believe the dad is married. Either his wife passed away or he just like never got married. Whatever the case might be, I don't think that he has a wife any longer, or a partner of any sort. Um, so he is alone, when it comes to that. Um, and then he has obviously the three kids. So we've got upstairs. I did cut out the doing of the exterior for the most part because it took me so long to decide on a fucking wall color that I just decided, you know what, fuck it. You all are not going to be able to watch that. Um, but yeah, so he's got the one who lives downstairs. They are single. I did imagine that they were like the really cool aunt or uncle. I imagined they were non-binary, so um, pick your whatever suits you. They are, yeah, so I did imagine that that sim was single and they were super into plants, kind of have a more industrial type style to their bedroom. And then we've got grandpa. Grandpa has a very, I don't even know what kind of style it is. It uses a lot of life and death, but I wouldn't say that he is like a life and death kind of guy. He's very he's serious, but not in like a down to business kind of way. He just has like a very dry sense of humor in my head. I haven't made these Sims. These are purely figments of my imagination, but I did imagine that the grandpa had like um, a very like dry sense of humor. And then I did cut out a lot of the windows because there is this visual thing that is happening right now. I don't know if it's true for all lots or if it was just this one, but I've seen it on some other creators as well, builds as well. Um, so I know it's not just me, but where you place a window and it causes all the furniture to like glitch in and out visually, and it's very annoying. Um, so I cut all that out because it was hurting my eyes when I was doing it, and I wasn't even doing it that fast. So sped up, I felt like it was horrible. Let's see. And then Yeah, so this we're working on Grandpa's room right now. And he, like I said, I feel like he's very serious, but I also feel like he does have a sense of humor, but it's like very dry. And it's probably like nobody realizes he's trying to make a joke until like the other person in the room who has that same sense of humor starts laughing, you know? Um, so I definitely feel like he has personality. It's just rather guarded. Um, and then downstairs we have a sort of sunroom space. I did build this before the new expansion pack came out, so it doesn't have any of that stuff in there. Um, and then um this bedroom for the like um third kid, the single unmarried adult, um kind of goes through some phases, so just trust the process. But then downstairs we have the son, and his son has a husband and they have younger kids. So I think I made it to where they have like a preteen. So like I was thinking the kid was probably like 11, and then there's a um toddler, and then there's like a slightly older child, so maybe like 9, and then there's a and I think it's an infant and a newborn. Um and then upstairs we have his daughter, and his daughter is also married, and she is not straight, but she does have a husband. Well, I say that she's not straight but has a husband. I don't actually know. I felt like the vibes were not straight, you know? Um, so I said she wasn't straight. Okay. Either she's not straight or the husband's not straight, because somebody's got to be queer in that house. Um, but the concept is that like she owns the house. Okay, so she is very successful in whatever it is that she does for a job, and she is rich. And so she bought everybody a house because the economy's shit, and everybody now lives in her house. So her dad, her brother, her sibling, her children, her nieces and nephews and nibblings and all of them, everybody, her whole family lives in this house, and it's massive. And if I didn't build it as a residential rental because those are really fucking glitchy, but if you wanted to, you could totally play this as having it as a residential rental and just only have and like split it up based on who you're playing with. So like let's say you wanted to play in this scenario who this house was for. Like let's say that you wanted to play with the main sim who owns the house in this story. You would have the like living spaces be shared, and then you could have like the upstairs be unit 1, maybe grandpa's room, and the the aunt or uncle's room be unit 2, and then have the downstairs unit be unit 3, and you could have like your brother living down in unit 3 and with all his kids and whatever else, and that way you can have the whole family without actually having to play the whole family, because you would need, in order to have everyone in this house that I imagined would be in this house, you would need cheats, because there's a lot of people in this house. Um, or you can fit a lot of people. Could I have turned one of the rooms into a study? Yeah, probably, and I probably should have. But I didn't. So, it's a little late for that. So you can do that on your own if you would like. But we finally got to the end product of the room, this room, the first room that you walk into. Um, And like I said, it's sort of industrial. It's got a lot of plants. I did imagine that that sim liked plants quite a lot. And I end up putting a desk in this little nook right here, and I'm going through and adding the wainscoting that came with um the decor to the max kit. I wish that they had given us like two more variants of each height. So instead of having um just the one with the divide in the middle and the bottom, and having the um baseboards at the bottom, I wish they had given us one that like was just like the top and sides so that you could put like single doors. And then I wish they would have given us one that's just the top so that you can have a double door. Um but they didn't. So that's rough. And then I am kind of laying out the um the layout of the rooms, which I cut out because I went through and changed my mind a bunch of times. Um, so I just decided to not do that anymore. And not make you watch that because this video is already excessively long. Before it was sped up, it was 9 hours. After it was sped up, it was like 2.5 hours. It's down to 147, so 1 hour and 47 minutes. But I think I always find parts while I'm doing my voiceover that I want to cut out, so then I have to go back and cut them out. So it'll probably be slightly shorter than that. It might be like an hour and a half, but that's still like really excessive. And then I am including this bathroom because it is the main bathroom on the downstairs floor. And so I thought that it would be kind of good to have that as like the basis for all the other bathrooms because I did imagine that the bathrooms that the sister owns are like um they're all kind of the same. I imagine she really is like a that she I don't know. I really like pink bathrooms, so I decided to make pink bathrooms because I wanted to. So um we have we are working on the greenhouse now, and I have some planter boxes in here right now, but I decided to take those out and I just put a bunch of fake plants in there. And then I put some of the little round planter bowls. That's not what they're called, but that's what they're going to be called right now. Um, in there so your Sims can actually garden in the greenhouse instead of it just looking like you can garden in the greenhouse. And then I do also, I think, have maybe I have a vertical planter. I'm not sure if I have one that works or none of them that work. I don't remember if I used the one that works or not. Because there's a decorative one, and then there's one that actually you can actually plant plants in. So I don't remember which one I used. So we'll find out together. Um, and then I imagined that her brother also had a dog. I don't remember if I put dog stuff, but when I was going through the upstairs, I thought that he would have a dog. So, sorry to that dog if I did not give it anything to take care of its needs with, but I did imagine that they would have a dog. And then I imagine that they also had like a lot of kids. Again, could I have given somebody an office? Yeah, but they all, like each floor has a spare bonus room. So the upstairs one is a playroom for all the kids. The middle one is obviously the greenhouse where we are right now, and then the basement is a gym because I imagined the brother and his husband were both very athletic. Um, so I decided to do a gym for them. And then because there are so many damn kids in this house, I figured a playhouse, like a playroom for upstairs would be better. Because in my head, all the kids could play up there, you know? And it's like nice because then like free daycare, you have like all the I don't know, like you can all sort of have the kids go wherever they need to go to be safe. Um, whereas um in real life, or like in The Sims, in real life they could all go and do whatever they needed to do because they all live there. But um in The Sims, obviously only the upstairs kids are going to use the upstairs playhouse. Oh, I also added a couple of skill building things to this room. So there, I believe is a, yeah, so there's an arranging table, obviously the pots, the new woodworking table, the archaeology table, and the flower arranging table, and then a bonsai tree. So there's actually like a lot of quite a few different skills in here, even if it's not all gardening. And then there is obviously a pride flag because they are non-binary. Um, and so I left that over there. We will go back and decorate that wall a little bit here in a minute after I get a lamp. Oh, and then it looks like I also add an easel, so that's good as well. So in total, there's like six, maybe seven skill building items in here, so that's really good. Then from there, we moved on to the kitchen, and I was going to do a bar, but I feel like my Sims are always using bars. Not quite as bad as grills, but I did feel like they're always using bars. And so I decided to go with the new buffet table, the like three wide buffet table, that came in the one of those things that they're doing, one of those events, that's what it's called. Um, and then I really wanted to use a bar height table, but I don't know if I end up keeping this one. I think I might. And then I think I just get another like a light above it. Um yeah, so I get this light from the Modern Lux kit. I'm pretty sure, or no. No, I'm pretty sure that I used the light from I was gonna say from Realm of Magic, from Life and Death. Um and so so I got that up there and then we just decorate the kitchen a little bit. I don't think I put too much clutter, just like my normal. So the bread box from Parenthood, and then the base game, paper towels and dispenser, like utensil holder thing. Um, so then we move on to the living room, and the living room is a little bit chaotic. I not in like a pattern kind of way, but just in the fact that like I don't remember if I changed the walls, but I'm not love like I did not love the red with the pink. I felt like that was just a lot. Um Mostly because pink is red, right? Like that's sort of how you make it. So I yeah, I wasn't really loving that. I don't know if I don't remember if I go back and change it or not though. Which is kind of disappointing because I do kind of want, like I did kind of want to change it, but we don't have purple. And that was the vibes. Like I was trying to go for purple, but we just like don't have this wallpaper in purple. And it was annoying the hell out of me so much so that I almost considered like just making custom content of it myself. And then I realized that I don't know how to do that. And I didn't want to learn solely for the sake of changing this particular wallpaper. So I didn't. Um, but I probably will at some point. I might cave and just create a purple swatch of custom content for every single item in this game. At least every single item in this game that I use. Because I swear we do not have any good purple in this game. If you watched last month, I did a build where I like solid color challenges of all the colors of the pride flag, which is rainbow. And so um I don't remember what I was saying. That's rough. So we moved on to Grandpa's room, and right, purple. I was talking about purple. But we moved on to Grandpa's room. Grandpa's room is very like dusty blue. Um, but I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's sophisticated, it's professional, it's very serious. Um, but I don't, like I said, I don't feel like um he didn't I didn't feel like he was too serious. Um, but yeah, so I definitely am almost to the point where I'm just gonna cave and make um custom content on everything for everything that's purple. That's like a good purple too, right? Like, because I don't want that nasty ass fucking magenta color. Like, what is that? She belongs not here. Um, but then we have like we have all this like cute pastel pink, but then nobody ever fucking includes pastel purple. Like that's all I want. Um, I am a little bit bitter about it. You'll see that I have a little bit of custom content, and I was like, I really want purple. And we do have this kind of purple. It wasn't quite the vibes that I was going for because I wanted black upper, like top pieces. Like I wanted black molding, um, so that it would match the what's it called? Wainscoting. But I could not find it. So there like legit is not one that is purple and black for some unholy reason. And then this is the guest bedroom. It doesn't look like a guest bedroom, but it is a guest bedroom. It is lesbian, that's pride flag themed, because this house is gay. So you can see that I did make that switch from the pink to the purple. I just decided to put up with the black. I think I end up putting or put up with the brown. I don't know if I end up putting the wainscoting over the doors and just like letting them glitch through it. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if I did because I was very tired of the Sims team not giving me all the pieces I need to build a house. Um, so, and this was something like was a discussion when the Decor to the Max kit came out, was that like you can't put it over doors. Um, so your Sims will just glitch through it. It's fine. But at least I'm pretty sure they will. I didn't play test, so um good for that. But like like let's say you want it over a whole house, but you have a door in the middle. Well, now it's just gonna like not continue above the door, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I was very frustrated about that. I'm not really sure why I didn't decorate this bathroom fully when I did it the first time, but that's okay. Um, So we are officially done with all of the bathrooms down here. And then I did put a couple of toys in Grandpa's room for an infant because I imagined he did a lot of babysitting. So yeah, so I imagined he did a lot of babysitting. So he probably just like keeps the kid in the bedroom while he does grandpa stuff. And that way you don't have to worry about the baby, right? Um, and then I am go moving upstairs. So we put the wainscoting all around everywhere, including the doors, because I like how it looks better. Um, and then we go through, and I was trying to figure out a way to cover up the brown. And so I decided on that, and I actually didn't mind it over there, but over here it like bothered the fuck out of me. So I think this is where I just decide to like put the wainscoting over the door, because it was bothering me too much. And I just decided to say, fuck it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's not my fault. And then we are going through and putting in some windows, which I am going to, I think I mostly cut out all the windows, like I said. So if there's any others, I'll probably edit them out while I'm doing this. Oh yeah, there's like a shit ton. Um, but we also have, I imagined this was like an ofrenda. Maybe it was like for her mom who died. I don't know. Um, and then so we've got like other stuff going on here. Um, Lots of food, lots of candles. I wish this was bigger, to be completely honest. But I am not a maker of The Sims. So, we've got a lot of flowers, and I imagine that they take down like the ofrenda specific things, but I imagine they leave up her picture year round. So, um, that, yeah, so that was kind of the story with that. It is technically just like a memorial table in The Sims, but I chose to decorate it like an ofrenda because I don't know. I feel like an ofrenda is the closest thing that we have in real life to a memorial table. I know, obviously, a lot of people do memorial displays. I have one for my dog, and I think it's kind of fun to decorate ofrendas. Not gonna lie, I find it very fun to decorate ofrendas, especially in The Sims. Like in The Sims, it's great. So and like, I don't know, I feel like because there's only one sim for this ofrenda right now, a lot of it is like for her specifically. So you can kind of go all out with it compared to like a traditional ofrenda where you have um a lot of people on there, right? Like you got a lot of people on there. Um, so Yeah. And then I was gonna do this fireplace, but then I realized it was a medium height fireplace, and I didn't want to change the walls, so I go went with this one. Um, this is hands down one of my favorite fireplaces in the entire game. This one and the one from Cats and Dogs are my like two top favorite fireplaces. Um, I love contrast, so my favorite thing is these fireplaces with a lot of contrast, where you've got like the dark wood and the light brick, or the other way around, white accents with a dark base. Um, and then we are sort of laying out the living space here. I did make this much more blue or like greenish in here rather than pink. I didn't feel like they were pink people, if that makes sense. Um, and at this point, I really wanted to download the mod tool, or is it the mod? The tool mod. That's what I meant. For some reason, my brain flipped it. Because I wanted a carpet that was just, I wanted that carpet to be like slightly bigger. But the size up one wasn't, and I was like, I don't want to have to learn right now. So I didn't. Um, but I got this purple one from the paranormal stuff. And then I also got like a shit ton of bookshelves. The bookshelves are fabulous. They are from Life and Death. Life and Death bookshelves, and then go those ones, and then also the what are they called? They are the Realm of Magic bookshelves. Those two, hands down favorite bookshelves. I love them. They're so beautiful. Um, so we have lots of bookshelves, and then we do get a toy chest and a small dining table. I did imagine that they used the downstairs kitchen more because it's bigger and they own the house. And then the brother who lives downstairs, he has his own like little kitchenette. So he can like make his own food without having to go upstairs, because I imagine that would be a little bit frustrating if like you want to have dinner with just your kids and then you have to go upstairs and run into like your like your dad and your sister and her kids and all of that. So I gave them their own little kitchenette, um, and they can make dinner on their own, um, without having to come upstairs. But back to the sister for a second. I changed these chairs. I swear I changed them like 14 times. Um, I switched them to well, I put down the ones from the Dream Home Decorator pack. And then I switched them out, which I cut out. And then I switched them back. And then I don't know. I feel like I switched them more than that, but I don't think I did. And then we decide on the darker purple ones from Get Together. Um, so it felt like a bigger process than it actually was. And we are finally moving on to the bedrooms now. So this is the oldest of the kids. He is a teenager, like a full-on teenager. Um, so I gave him a double bed, and he has all the teenage stuff. I imagine this sim was into music and video games. He also has a pet crow, because why not? So he's got that. I will actually, I forgot to place, and well, I didn't forget to place it. I didn't think to place it, and then I decided, I like saw it later, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. For this kid, he feels like he would have a crow. So he has his own pet crow that he takes care of. And I imagine he, like in real life, he would have like a little cage that the bird would stay in, and that would be like hanging outside his window, and the bird would like come and go as it pleases. But this is The Sims, and we don't have that. We have a stick. So I put the bird on a stick. Um, and just it's very like red and navy blue in here. But I kind of like the color scheme. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit intense, but I don't know. This is honestly one of my favorite color schemes. But I don't use it very much because it's a very specific. It's a very specific kind of color scheme. Um, so yeah, I don't really use it because I feel like if I overuse it, it like isn't as intense, you know? Um, and then he has a desk and obviously a mirror and the piano and all the instruments we have, which is only three, which is kind of sad. I will stand by my desire for I think the only gameplay kit that I would ever want is a music pack, and I would want it to have a bunch, like a bunch of new instruments. Although I think I would prefer it if it was a stuff pack because then we could get like inspired furniture and music inspired bedspreads and music inspired all the things instead of just the instruments. And then there could also be like some more like, I don't know, like band t-shirts, a lot. I don't know about a lot, but my sibling wears a lot of band t-shirts and a lot of band hoodies. And so I don't know. I just when I think of teenagers, I think of there's only just the two of us, but my sibling is a teenager right now. And my teenager experience, I was not a normal teenager. So I just sort of saw a lot of people wearing like band t-shirts in like seventh grade and like a bunch of and like throughout high school, and then my siblings wearing band t-shirts, so I just assume that that's like a teenager thing. um but yeah, so I just assumed that I don't know, I just associate band t-shirts with teenagers, but I know other people wear them too. But I think it's just kind of fun to, I don't know, I think it's kind of fun to have more like bandish kind of stuff and like music stuff because we don't have a lot of music stuff. Like, obviously, we have the keyboard and we have the upright piano and we have the grand piano and we have a couple of guitars and a couple of violins, but that's not like the full broad like spectrum of music. Um, I would love if we could get a couple more stringed instruments. I would love a bass or a cello. I would love a harp. I would really love if we could get like brass instruments. So like I don't know, like a trumpet and um maybe like I don't know, just like other like I don't know. I feel like a trombone would be a little too difficult to animate, but I don't know. I just like other things, like other musical instruments. And I feel like people really also want drums. We had drums in The Sims 3. Um and that came with, I believe, The Sims 3 Nightlife. I could be totally wrong though. I was very young when I was playing that game. Um so I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't be I would even be okay if they made it into a game pack. I feel like that could be a good concept for a game pack if they made like a music one, you know? I do feel like it would probably be better if it was a stuff pack, but they want to make it a game pack and try and fit more content in, that's fine. Um, but yeah, so I wish we had more. I feel like that sim would probably play the trumpet. I feel like he would probably play the piano. I feel like he would probably play a lot, like maybe the flute or um other wind instruments. I don't know, just like anything. And then I actually just talked through this entire child's bedroom, so I will give you a rundown of her bedroom. she loves plants, kind of like her aunt or uncle. Loves crafts. Isn't she? She's in scouts. Um, and then we have this room, which is going to be a nursery, an ocean inspired nursery. I wish we had more ocean inspired nursery stuff, just like generally speaking, but I thought it turned out kind of cute. And I actually discovered some more stuff that I didn't realize came in like ocean swatches. So that was kind of fun to discover. Um, and the other sim, the one who's like in scouts and stuff, I did imagine that she was probably like 12. So there's a pretty big age gap between her and this kid. I didn't know what I wanted to do for that middle room because I did want that kid to be, um, like, I don't know, like different than the other two. I tend to go like music, art, nature, ocean, and those are like my my the the like themes that I go for. Or I go like color schemes. Um, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time that's kind of bad. So so yeah, and you can kind of see that like I am doing that with this house. So like the first few were pretty easy because I was like, "Oh, I have all these ideas. I want like this kid to be into music and video games and like that's kind of a fun combo that I don't usually do." Um And then I wanted her to be in scouts because I never used scouts. Um, and then I wanted to have the baby's room be over here closer to the parents because that makes sense to have the kids be closer to the parent, the younger kids be closer to the parents. Um, and so I did that, and I wanted the ocean because I thought it was super cute to have ocean. Um, like ocean stuff. Um, and I thought that was like I personally do not really like the ocean. Um, so I don't typically decorate Sims rooms to be oceany. Um, but I really like how that nursery turned out. I thought it was really cute. And then this room was kind of a struggle. So I wanted something that was floral. Yeah, the room next door is kind of floral, but I wanted this one to be a little bit more moody. Um, and I wanted it to be more, I don't know, just I guess moody would be a good description of it. I wanted it to be very warm. I wanted it to be very dark. And I really wanted to use this wallpaper from the Decor to the Max kit, but it just did not come in the right colors. So I ended up getting rid of it, and I think I keep something kind of similar to this. Um, but don't quote me on that because I don't really remember. I mean, I know that I built the house, but I don't really remember very much from it because it's so big. So by the time you finish a big build, it sort of feels like they're all sort of blurring to, like all the rooms are sort of blurring together. Um, and I do make it kind of bright, but I decided I didn't like it, so I saved without. I have just like undid it, yeah, but I decided to save to not like to quit without saving. And just like start from scratch again. Um, because I got overwhelmed. And then I did want this sim to be like a younger teen. So the other one was maybe like the one to the right is maybe, I don't know, like 15 or 16. I want this sim to be like 13 or 14. And then the daughter is um like 11. Um so there's a little bit of age gap in between them. Um because I feel like if you have kids, boom, 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 I feel like that would suck a lot. And then initially I put a computer in this kid's room, but I ended up changing that and doing more, I don't know, having like a combination of skills from like childhood and teenager. So there's, I believe I put a dollhouse. There's the Bat Blarfy. There's a bunch of creative skills. So there's the candle making and the archaeology table. I don't know if I keep the archaeology table and if I replace it with something else. I put the gemology table in here because I thought it was kind of fun and I haven't used that very much. I had a let's play that I was playing for a bit that I do want to finish. I just legit don't have time for more than I'm doing right now. Um, so I at some point will pick that back up, but the heir of that legacy challenge was doing the gemology table, or using it to obviously do gemology and like make stuff. Um, and then I oh, this is what I was kind of talking about. So there are these cross stitch things that I didn't realize came in like a cute little whale swatch. So I put that in the nursery and it's very like red and dark in here, but I really like it. And then I also did this thing that may be a little bit controversial, but I put the um what's it called? I put the it's like a curtain object, I'm pretty sure, but I put it over the headboard of the bed. So it looks kind of like a partial canopy. And I actually really, really loved how that looked. I felt like that particular bed swatch too was just so pretty. Um, with that curtain color. And then we've got a bunch of tools hanging around. We've got the aprons because you're gonna be getting messy in this room. If you come into this room, you're probably gonna be doing something that is going to get you covered in dust. And then I was thinking of adding like a deep blue, but I decided not to, because it was so red in here that I felt like the blue just like it didn't really fit to me. Um, so I decided to go with these cats and dogs paintings instead. And I actually really like them. Um, and then I wanted to use this, but I don't remember if I ended up keeping it or not. It's got some like, I don't know, just like some pictures on the wall. And I felt like the color scheme of them kind of worked. And then I also get this rug. I don't know if I keep it. I think I do. I think I keep this rug. And then I also get like the painted rug from City Living, that has paint splatters on it, um, for under um, the candle station. And then in here, I do a very green color scheme in here. It is very nature, but again, kind of different than the other one. It's not very like scouting, it's more like foraging. I feel like this sim would probably be the kind of sim that would want to be a fairy. But this was obviously before fairies came out. So, yeah, I do feel like this sim probably would want to be a fairy when she gets older. And then she is the same age as the other sim that we just did. I imagined that they were twins, but she's definitely at a different point in life. I felt like she probably really liked her single bed, so she didn't want to get a double bed. And she's got like a bunch of more childish seeming stuff. So instead of having like a bunch of more like teenager stuff, I felt like she probably had more like childhood crafting stuff. Because I did imagine that they were, I guess they were teenagers. Like they're 14 or maybe 13. I guess it doesn't really matter. They're like 13 or 14, so I guess technically they would be teenagers, but I don't know. It's like a different vibe to have um like some 13-year-olds are young and some 13-year-olds are old and like not necessarily like in a bad way like in either way. Neither way is bad. It's just that like some 13-year-olds are like young, spry, energetic little balls of energy. And other 13-year-olds are like, I want to be done with college already. I want to be done. um, and so I, even though, um, like they're the same age, I do feel like he is probably older. Not necessarily like literally. I don't think that he's literally older. I do think that she is a younger soul and he is an older soul. Um, and then I switched out her bed. Um, I don't know if I personally would choose that now. Um, but I I think that for the vibes I was going for, I think that it fits. I probably would have gone with something a little bit older than that. I tend to associate that with like 4-year-olds, but that's okay. She's got an easel and she's got like I definitely feel like she probably wants to like live off the land and like be a fairy and like be like an art fairy and like do all of that. And then lastly up here we are doing the primary bedroom. Um so over here I have the bed, and I love this bed. This bed came from the Modern Luxe kit. Honestly, one of my favorite kits. It's the only, well, not the only one, but it's one of the ones that I personally bought because they were giving away a couple of kits for free a few years ago, and I got them because they're free. Um, Same thing with the my first pet stuff. I didn't buy that pack. They were giving it away for free, so I got it because why not? It's free. Um and then um so I yeah, so I got a few packs for free just because The Sims were giving them away. But I did buy Modern Lux Kit, and that one is still to this day one of my favorite kits. I do not regret buying it. Um, and so um, yeah, so we are working on the primary bedroom, and it's very like, I don't know, it's kind of similar vibes to the grandpa's room downstairs. So then I got a mirror and a rug, and we are trying to figure out like something to put at the end of the bed. I don't remember what I put on there. Oh, I put that. Okay, cool. Good for me. Um, in full transparency, it's been like 2 days. I started the first half of this on Monday, and now today is Wednesday, so trying to finish this before um Thursday, hence why I'm recording it on Wednesday, so that I can upload it on Thursday. And then one thing that I really wanted was something above the dresser. So I decided to remove the walls temporarily and put and like scoot it slightly off the wall so that the wainscoting doesn't poke through. And then we did get a lamp, and then I think I move on to the bathroom. Yeah. So the that's the layout, and it's pretty much identical to the other bathrooms. And now we are moving on to the playroom. So I did cut out the bathrooms because they were all the same. So you saw the downstairs one. You don't need to watch all of them. I mean, if you want to look at all of them, you can, but I did not think it was necessary to include all of the bathrooms, given that this speed build was almost 2 hours. Um, so I yeah, so I cut that out, and then we are working, like I said, on the playroom. It has a bunch of toys in here, some Blarfies, a dollhouse, the tent, some toy boxes, and I don't know, it's just kind of, I thought it was kind of fun to have like a bunch of different rugs, and um getting the rugs to be the correct, like where I wanted them to be, was a little bit of a thing, but I feel like it was fine. And then I do get a science table, and I don't know if I get any wall art, but I do. Oh yeah, I get a bookshelf, a couple of bookshelves apparently, and a couple of toddler potties, because they do have. I don't know if these Sims have a toddler, but there is a toddler in the house. And like I said earlier, I thought that like all the kids could use the upstairs. So, yeah, they would use like all of it. And then downstairs, I it's been 2 days. I think I mentioned that this is the brother of the Sim who owns the house. And he, granted, these Sims don't exist, but um he has his husband and then their kids. And then I gave them a gym instead of like an office or something. So we have that. And then they also do have a um what's it called? A kitchenette. And I do realize that there is only one door into the corner bedroom at the moment. I do fix that. So don't worry. It's very cute right now. But I do realize that I need a door into the bedroom. Um, so we will be adding that, but we don't have it right now. Um, and then it's very, I mean, they're both guys, so it makes sense that it's kind of masculine in here, but it is much more masculine down here than it is upstairs. And not that upstairs is like necessarily feminine, but there's like a lot more like masculine elements. Um, and this is where I realized that I don't have a door. So I just moved the trash can and put a door. So not fancy in there. Um, but yeah, it is definitely a more masculine space. Lots of blues, lots of browns. I wouldn't say it's neutral because blue is not a neutral color. Um, but I do feel like it is more neutral than the purple and pink vibes going on upstairs. It's more masculine for sure. Um, so we have that. They, like I said, they do have the kitchenette, and then we have a chess table in the hall. I don't know if they would play chess, but I do think that it is helpful to have a chess table. So, um, they have one. And then finding the one that I wanted, that matched my other archway, the 2 wide version of the 3 wide archway that I had, was a little bit of a chaotic thing because they all look the same to me. They're all white arches. So, yeah. And then we've got like some art in the middle. And then in here, I don't remember this one. I think it's, oh yeah. Okay. So this is um the MLM room. So they have a trans son who presumably is gay. And so they have he has um like a desk, and he's got, I imagine this sim was probably like 12 or 13. I did imagine that the brothers' kids were younger than the sisters' kids. So this sim, he has some children's stuff, and then I do think that I add in a couple of like older items. So he's got the woodworking table as well. Um, and then also like some of the, what are they called, wood critters, because I don't know, they're like really popular. I guess they're supposed to be like Pokemon, you know? Um so I wanted to add those in here, and then it does have like the bed does have some like purpley-ish accents. So I got a purple dresser. Um and then I do feel like he still enjoys like creative hobbies. So the obviously the woodworking table is definitely would be classed as more masculine. But I do feel like he loves fashion. I feel like he really loves makeup and crafts. And so I do have a few things like that in here. Um, and then I do have some books on his desk, because I think everyone should read, even if you don't love to read. Um, and then I do imagine that he probably does his nails like every week. So every week he's got like a different thing going on. Um, and then I have a couple of rugs. And then the center, we decide to go, me, myself, and I decide to go with the um, rainbow pride flag. So like the standard pride flag. And so it is a lot in here. Um, it starts off kind of pastel, but it doesn't stay pastel. There's a lot going on in here. There's like a bunch of different colors, like all the colors. And also this kid is like 3. So I think it does kind of make sense to have a lot of different colors in a child's bedroom, like a little kid's bedroom. Um, but yeah, so we've got a lot of different colors going on in here. We've got this rug, it's got a bunch of rainbow sheep on it. And then I discovered this whale height chart, which I thought was so cute. And then I got the dog one, and I realized some of my stuff got deleted, so I had to put it back for these Sims. And then I got some more height charts. I love height charts in The Sims. I think they're kind of cute. They add like I don't know, like another thing to decorate your Sims room with. I don't think I end up keeping that decal, to be completely honest. And then on this wall, we have a bunch of, well, we've got a toddler potty down here because there is one upstairs, but I don't think they can access that very easily. And then we have a desk. I did imagine that their cousin decorated this desk, the one upstairs in the flower room. Not the younger one, the older one in the flower room that's in Scouts. And I did imagine this Sim loved to draw. And then I saw these and I thought that would be perfect for this room up here because it's like blue. It's like navy blue and white and black and red. And then this is when I remembered the crow. So we did go ahead and add that. And then I get rid of that and I add in this mural thing. For some reason, it didn't let me grab it at certain angles, which was kind of annoying. And a, what's it called? I don't remember. Calendar. There we go. And then I do have a couple of really excessively bright flower rugs in here because it's supposed to be rainbow. You know, like you can't have a rainbow without neon light, neon rugs, right? In here, we end up going with the pride flag, the pansexual pride flag. And I actually really love this one. And then over here, we do get a couple of high chairs. And I make them, I don't remember what I make them. I think, oh, I just make them black. Okay, well, that's not very interesting. And then in here, I don't remember what this sim is into. I think this sim is like very into theater. And then we have a newborn's room, which I decorated for both a newborn and an infant. And then we have an infant's room. And I got a little excited and I think I did the nurseries first before I went back and did the pan pride room. And yeah, I had a great time with this room. I used a lot of the Goth Baby kit because it's really cute. Like that room, that stuff is super cute. So we've got a blue baby room and a what's it called? A green baby room because I was trying to figure out like what to put in those babies' rooms. Or like what to put in the rooms because I feel like at this point I was really trying to think of like new things and like different combinations of skills, and so it was a little bit of a struggle to have like new skills and like new combinations of skills because at this point I've pretty much done everything that I normally do. So I was trying to think of other things. And now that I think about it, I don't know if I did a sports room, which I feel like is also kind of standard. Um, but I did do this child's room. So I imagine this was probably like an 8-year-old, a 7 or 8-year-old. So they're like a child. Um, so I was trying to include a lot of the things that I had in the upstairs room, the upstairs playroom in here because they don't have a playroom. I mean, technically they do. Like in my head, they would all share, right? But I didn't, they don't have access to that if it functions the way that I imagined it would, with the different units going on. So I wanted to include a lot of things in these rooms that these Sims could use in place of that playroom. And I did just get rid of the entire room and now I'm redoing it because I didn't like it. So I just got rid of everything. Um, and we are getting like a bunch of things from the the kids room stuff pack. And I imagine this sim was probably a little bit more feminine. I don't know if this is a girl sim or if this is just like a sim that's more feminine, but I did imagine that they were a little bit more feminine. And then I have the bookshelves and a desk. This sim, like their cousin upstairs, is in the scouts. So I thought that was kind of fun. Maybe they're like in scouts together, you know? Maybe they're both in Girl Scouts. And I was trying to use like a lot of the things from the kids' room stuff pack. Um, and I realized that Growing Together, Parenthood, and the kids' room stuff pack, all of the like kids dedicated stuff actually fit together really well, which makes sense. They're all family packs, but I kind of wanted to include those. And I thought maybe this sim was like playing with their teddy bears. And I imagine this sim was probably pretty outgoing, really loved to hang out with people and hang out with their families. So I wanted to have a lot of like activities that you could do with more people. So they have the Void Critters thing, and then they've got like games in the corner, and or I guess it's not in the corner, but it will be in the corner. We've got a lot of obviously they're in scouts, so they've got trophies, like sports trophies and stuff. So I feel like this sim probably has like a lot of this sim probably is the sim that everybody thinks is really cool and is actually very nice. I think that this sim is probably like the nice popular kid, and they're popular because they're nice. And they want to like include everyone and make sure that everyone feels um, like looks out for all the little guy, like the all the little guys. Um, we have a blue rug because I felt like there wasn't enough blue for it to be a pan pride room. And then I realized we have this rug and I get that rug instead because I think it's cool. And I felt like the other rug covered too much of the carpet. So now we are moving on to the blue nursery. Um, and like I said, this one is decorated for an infant and a newborn. So I imagine that the sim was a newborn, but obviously a newborn has to grow into an infant at some point. Um, so they will. And I did this thing where I put so they've got like a drape for the crib, but I used the curtains, instead. And I thought it was actually really cute. Um, and like I said, I do use a lot of the Goth Baby kit, and also a lot of Life and Death because those two actually go together really, really well. Um, so I use um, the there's like a cabinet with toiletries in the corner from Life and Death. The crib is actually from Base Game. I didn't use the Goth Baby crib in here. But we do have like a changing table and stuff. I imagined that your Sims would probably use that for the newborn, but obviously your Sims don't use changing tables for newborns. They just do it in the bassinet, which is kind of weird. And then I tried the Goth Baby changing table, but I didn't like it. So I went with this changing table. It's pink. It matches the crib. And then I have a couple of other things for infants as well. The play mat, and then also I think I get some toys. And oh, I also get like a diaper nappy bag. Um, and then I'm trying to figure out what plant I want to put in there. So I grabbed this pink one from Get Together. And we have, yeah, so now we're back in the blue baby room, and I am getting a few like art pieces and then a Blarfy because I feel like Blarfy is kind of standard for a um for like a kid's room in The Sims. You have to have a Blarfy of some kind. And then I was trying to get some sort of lamp or something by this chair. Um, and I was trying to also get something on the wall. I don't know if I end up keeping that. I think I keep that. And then I was gonna change it to be a little bit more green, but I felt like it was fine because it has the purple. And then I'm trying to go through and see if there's a rug that I like. I don't hate it without a rug, but I did kind of want, um, I don't know, like something more going on the floor. So I thought a rug would be a good way to do that. And then I do get this kind of fluffy rug from Vintage Glamour. At least I think it's from Vintage Glamour. I don't remember. And then in here, we use a lot of the green swatches of the Goth Baby kit. So we've got two kinds of green swatches. We've got this more like minty solid green, and then we've got like this deep forest green and gold. And I'm not really sure why they did those because I would have preferred to have um, all of the swatches match. Um, but they did. So we just have to put up with it. Um, and then this room is a little bit more whimsical. I was trying to do something a little bit different because I feel like all my baby rooms kind of, not that they all tend to look the same, but I feel like I have like one thing that I do for babies, and this is not it. I don't usually put bookshelves and like adult decor in babies' rooms, I feel like. Usually I've got like a theme. Um, instead of based on nature or something, like a music room or a forest room or an ocean room. We've got an ocean nursery upstairs. But I don't usually do color themes, so I thought this was kind of fun. I know at last month I did like solid color challenges for Pride Month, but I don't usually do that. Um, so I decided to go kind of solid color challenge in here. And so there's a lot of that going on. I don't know how much of it I keep in this room. I feel like the other room is a little bit more normal looking, and this is definitely like very green in this room right here. So I if you don't like the color green, you can change it. It's not gonna kill anyone. And I'm trying to figure out what to put on this wall. And I just decided to do some wainscoting, and then I think I hang something in the like on the wall. Perhaps, oh, I think I do that. I think I just hang that on the wall, and then I get a plant that has a little bit more color to it. And then I don't remember what I put over here. Oh, maybe just a different kind of plant. Um, that particular changing table does not accept trash cans, so I couldn't put one, which is really annoying. And then over here, I get some more wainscoting for the living room, and we kind of start to actually decorate. I did skip the primary bedroom for now, but I kind of wanted to work on the bedroom or not the bedroom, the living spaces first, um, because I don't know, I typically do, and I got really excited about the bedrooms, so I didn't decorate it. But yeah, we've got I don't think I put anything on this one. Oh, maybe I put some portraits. Um, and then I think I switch out the yeah, I switch out the table for a square one. Because I felt like it fit the space a little bit better. And I got this one from City Living, which I never use. I don't think I've ever used that thing in my life. And I've had City Living for a long time. So, I, um, so yeah, I got that table and then I get a little plant on it. But I don't know, I don't think it will interfere with your Sims actually using the table. Sometimes your Sims just won't use the table anyway, but yeah, so um and then we are moving into the living room. Um the living room has a rug now and a couple of tables, lots of space for photos. And then I think I get a couple of like fake toys for the kids because they have a lot of kids in this house. And I felt like they all sort of watch everybody's kids. So sometimes your kid might leave something down here and they've got a lot of stuff. And same thing with upstairs, like the kids leave stuff upstairs and it's not a problem. And so we've got a lot of like kids clutter in here, which I don't typically do for living rooms. Usually for living rooms, I try to keep it very like formal. Um, or maybe I always lean towards that, so I changed my mind. I don't know. Um, and then we are moving into the primary bedroom here. And this room kind of honestly looks kind of the same as the upstairs bedroom, just like a slightly different color scheme because I love this bed. This is my hands down my favorite bed in the entire game. It's from the Modern Luxe kit, and it is really, in my personal humble opinion, it is very pretty. And so I use it as much as I can. And I was gonna do a dark blue, but I felt like I can't use the same primary bed. I like a same double bed in both the primary bedrooms. So I didn't. And I chose this lighter gray one instead of the navy. And then I did change the floor because everything was so light in here, that I decided to change the floor so that it stood out a little bit more. And it didn't all look like just like beige. Because the wall is beige, the bed is beige, the side tables are beige, so I thought it might be nice to have a darker wood floors so that they don't all blend in. Um, and then um I don't know if I think I get a desk, but now I'm questioning if I do. Um anyway, so I sometimes use these as like little life update things, and I have kind of a fun little story. So there's this coworker of mine that I swear does not like me at all. Um, and so we the supervisor wanted to implement a change with the workflow about a particular test. I work as a phlebotomist, and she wanted to implement it so that the medical assistants, they're kind of like nurses, did a um, the medical assistants are under nurses, but they are kind of like nurses. Um, she wanted them to, there's one test that we can run in the clinic, and she wanted them to do that because it doesn't take very long, um, and it makes sense. Um, And this person, um, we'll call her A, um, she did not like the idea. And so um, so my supervisor, so the supervisor was like trying to understand why, because nobody else had a problem with it. And and A was all like, well, when I'm doing it, I can do them. I don't understand like me, why you can't. And she was talking to me, and I was like, well, I can, but like, like, if I've got 10 people on the schedule, like, I don't want to have to also worry about one random urine that you could run, because that was the test. It's a urine test. And she was like, well, it's part of your job as the lab. And I was like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. um in my head, I thought that I thought that very loudly. um and the um and I just kept like trying to argue with me, despite the fact that I didn't even friggin' suggest the change, first and foremost, and second of all, like, why are you mad at me about something so random as that? Um, but yeah, so I'm very curious how she will um respond to this change. Um, and I think it's more so kind of funny to me because we literally got a PSA of like how healthcare is always changing and we need to be open to that and adaptable. And now she's literally not being adaptable or open to change. But that's okay. Um, she can get over it. But that's my fun story from work. And then I do also have a fun little life update about my cat. He has given me the name EH is my name. Um, because obviously he's a cat. He doesn't really um name people, but he knows he has a string of sounds, so he has given me a string of sounds. I don't think he needs to give the dog a string of sounds, um, but he has named me And I think it is the sweetest thing because I will come home and I'll be like, "How are my babies?" And then they will come running. Um, and specifically Atticus. Atticus is my cat. And speaking of a cat, I do go through and make sure that they have a cat and their cat has everything that they need. I did think that they had a dog, but it turns out they have a cat. Um, so he comes running over and he goes, eh. And then he like tells me to come here, and I don't because I have to let the dog out. But um it's really sweet. He comes up and he greets me and he says my name, and I don't know. Anyway, so we did the gym and I'm just going through and making sure that everything was done, and then I did not record myself doing the bathrooms because they look basically the same. They're just blue. And then I fiddled with the outside and I accidentally forgot to record it. So this is the final layout, and you guys get to watch me decorate and do a little bit of landscaping. So they have a grill. I believe they have an outdoor bar because they don't have one inside. And then they have some loungers and some tables and a bunch of toys and like playground equipment for the kids because they do have a lot of kids. I mean, they've got five each um plus the grandpa and the parents, and so they've just got a lot of Sims. Um, so I wanted to include something for everybody out here. We do have a ladder, even though your Sims don't need it. And then I decided to get some cute fairy lights over the pool. So I use the ones from, I think I use the ones from Life and Death. They are hands down my favorite. I think they're beautiful. Um, and then I do have to adjust them a little bit, so that they line up a little bit better with the pool. Um, but I thought it looked super pretty. And then we'll be going through and getting some landscaping. And then at this point, I was very done with everything. I don't know if I include me doing all the landscaping. I'm looking at the rest of the video and there's like not a lot of time. So I don't think we do that. I think I cut that out as well. And then I forgot to do terrain paint. So there is none on there. Um, there is none of that. So if you download it, you do have to do your own terrain paint. So for that, I apologize, but I didn't catch it until it was on the gallery and I didn't want to like take it off. So at this point, we are done. If you liked this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot. And I will see all of you next time. Bye now.